Welcome to Things You Don't Know.
We wanted to share with our listeners the goals and designs of these podcasts because this is not intended to follow the typical format.
Yeah, we thought it might be more interesting to give a brief bit of background and then present voice acting out of the scenes, which may give the flavor of the topic.
Some of the episodes are presented in a more traditional dialogue format.
Yes, absolutely. We do present some files and pictures and often include some background music too.
I must admit, friends, I was a little surprised when Dr. Weaver suggested our unique format. But over time, I've truly come to value this methodology as both interesting and entertaining.
Yes, give you a little background, friends. The podcast was created when I suggested to Dr. Deneen to go into the oldest graveyard he could find, probably at an old church, and look for the oldest tombstone and then ask the person in charge about the person in the grave and see where research might lead. Dr. Deneen went to the Scotch Plains Baptist Church that is over 300 years old and discovered the resting place of Caesar Drake, a former slave and hero of the American Revolution. This is an example that history is everywhere and is open to discovery if people just take the time to look.
It was very surprising to me that Caesar's story has been mentioned in many revolutionary histories, but often it doesn't include his name. It took me some effort to contact church officials, uncover subtle differences in what was recorded in records as opposed to the other information. Church officials were extremely helpful in providing the facts and disclosing more accurate information which wasn't available elsewhere. For example, it was reported that Caesar's tombstone was broken and partially absent. As a matter of fact, the tombstone is present, has been recently rebuilt in whole, and the graveyard also includes a monument to Caesar. We have provided pictures.
Yeah, they're really there. This is a great example of what I like to call boots on the ground history. When you look around and pay attention and then unearth more details, sometimes a very different picture of the person or event emerges. What do I mean by boots on the ground? I'm referring to several different kinds of things. First, it means to go beyond the usual camping out in libraries, collecting documents, etc., and regurgitating things already written. Books and documents are a snapshot of the moment when they are written, and we aspire to give updated information wherever possible. Second, it means to view things as a detective might when uncovering, unraveling, and seeking an accurate understanding. Third, to present the information in a stimulating and interesting manner, three-dimensionally, by which I mean indicating an inclusive framework. Fourth, it means to place people and events in the context of that moment in time, accounting for as many factors such as political issues, the impact of other people and events, etc. This is something that Dr. Deneen absolutely excels at because of his encyclopedic knowledge.
Well, Dr. Weaver, I'm flattered. We wanted to give the information in a new and fun manner, not just presenting it as though it were another lecture. We often vocally act out scenes with the purpose of sharing shades of meaning. For many of these scenes, there is no direct record. Unfortunately, cell phones were not invented until the very late 20th century.
Yeah.
So these scenes are conjectures based on other details as well as anecdotal evidence. An example of this is found in our episode about Eleanor Roosevelt, specifically her assumed conversation with the headmistress of her school, Madame Sylvestre. We have frequently included some background music during the podcast for the purposes of setting mood and reifying these are not mini lectures. but things to be enjoyed while still presenting important information. We do seek to entertain as well, which is why we've chosen novel topics to present more traditional information. An example of this concept is our episode about soft drinks. Through this vehicle, we're able to discuss the role that international commerce plays in world events, and are able to introduce what is often referred to as the McDonald's effect. In light of the recent conflict with the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the subsequent pullout of Russia of several United States companies, including Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's, followed by increased pressure by the Russian people to stop the hostilities, the importance of understanding these principles is evident.
Exactly. Some of the podcasts deal with very light topics, such as the episode on bizarre laws.
That's a fun one.
It really was fun. It was fun for us to do, too. And these are more aimed at entertainment, although it does bring into focus the silliness coming from government bureaucracies. We make no apologies for being entertaining. We intend to. We firmly believe in inclusion and equal representation and attempt to present opposing viewpoints and underrepresented peoples in an unbiased manner. For that reason, we have episodes focusing on Native Americans, people of African descent, females, people with varying exceptionalities, and a lot of others. One example of this is the episode on Spartan women, without the traditional focus on the male-dominated military aspects of Sparta. We also believe that having a full and meaningful life means having knowledge of a wide variety of things, including music, art of all kinds, psychology, culture, etc. Look for an upcoming episode on Jean Piaget, the great developmental cognitive psychologist. Yes, I did choose him because I spent 2 months with him. Example of these types of focus include the episode focusing on the jongleurs, who might be characterized as pop, street, or protest musicians of the 12th, 13th, and 14th centuries. Another example would be the episode on holidays. We believe that understanding others must include understanding their background and culture, including artistic and foundational beliefs. The world does have a dark side, and we think it's important to expose this darkness to the light so that it can be recognized more quickly and perhaps stopped. For this reason, we will have episodes focusing on serial killers, dictators, and others. Some examples may include Adolf Hitler, Jim Jones, and other cult leaders, etc. Does not mean we are trying to validate these people or that we believe in anything that they had to say. The approach to these topics has traditionally been to either vilify or deify. We will be taking a different approach because neither tells the full story and does nothing to prepare people to deal with these types of people.
We both believe that an active, seeking, and critical mind resides inside most people, willing and waiting to be stimulated and fed. We have both been involved in teaching and have found that starting where students are in terms of knowledge, culture, and skill sets, and then moving on to less familiar arenas is the best way to help them learn. In teaching, we learn a great deal from our students.
Amen to that.
That philosophy is carried over into these podcasts. We will not try to give all the answers, present every argument, or mold minds. We will stimulate or awaken their curiosity innate to the human condition and give a few tools to assist in whatever searching may result. We've provided an avenue for private communication for those who may have questions, may want ideas on pursuing their own research, or suggestions for additional podcasts at 2, docs, DOCSAND, e21@gmail.com. Discovering, learning, and researching, no matter what name is given to that quest for knowledge, can and should be a lifelong trait. Ultimately, it is also our goal to include and stimulate a highly diverse audience of people seeking to be entertained as well as to learn more. We are planning in the future on incorporating live call-in type podcasts to allow for comments and questions.
We certainly hope that you have enjoyed this little view of our goals and our objectives in doing the podcasts. And we believe that listening with these goals in mind will make your listening even better and more fun. Thanks for listening, and we hope that you have a great day. And please check out the podcasts that we have available, and more are coming all the time.
So long, friends.